What's up? This is a small little tutorial. This will probably only last 10 minutes or so on how to make a zombie like this. This is from my good friend Five Niloc. Yeah, that's his name. It's 5NILOC. Now, to begin, we're going to start off with a simple leg. So we're going to insert a part. Use mouse 2 to open up this tab. Make sure you click in the work area. So click insert part. Now make sure you have this up here set to 1 stud. Now we're going to scale this part. We're going to scale it to 1, 2, 1. This means that it is 1 stud across this way, 1 stud across this way, and two studs tall. X, which is the first way, Y, which is up and down, and then Z, which is this way. Now, I may sound a little bit sick, and that's because I'm congested. So now we want to pick a color for this. If we want to match this zombie, we would go with sand red, and we would make it smooth. But for this zombie, I'm going to make him pitch black and with marble, actually. No, just kidding. I want to make this zombie more palish, so I want to make him with something like light reddish violet to make it look more pale, and then I would use smooth plastic as well. Now, since we have this, we'll duplicate it, which can also be used by the pop-up menu with mouse 2, which is your right mouse button, and we're going to drag it next to this one. And we'll duplicate again and drag it on top. Now we're going to scale it to be a torso. And here's where it gets hard. This is where we start using CSG. So, what we're going to try to do first is create a tiny little bone. That's what you see right here sticking out. This blood is not very effective right now. I can fix it later because it's not. I can fix that later, and yeah, basically. Wow, we're already 2 minutes through. Okay, so let's start with making a bone. We're going to insert another part, but for this part, you see how it says symmetric here? You're going to double click on that and change it to custom. And then you need to change this to a 5th stud and try to make your bone approximately 1.6 times 0.4 times 0.2 studs long. Now we want to color it completely white and smooth plastic. So now we'll duplicate it, resize it, so it looks like a bone. We're going to go with, for the parts that stick out, we're going to go with 0.2, 0.8, 0.2. And we're going to duplicate and move. Duplicate and move. Duplicate and move. So here's where you see that this does not match completely. So we're going to rescale this so that it fits with each other. Now we're going to select all of these, and this is how you use CSG Editor. You want to go to select. Once you have selected all of your parts, you click union. This creates one part made out of all the parts. This little bone thing is now just one part instead of those 5 right there. This is the same exact model as this. So, now you have created your first model in CSG Editor. So now you're going to want to create the hole in the side of the zombie. To do this, you want to insert a sphere and a part. Change this back to 1 stud and resize the part. Now here's where it gets tricky. We're going to subtract one part from another. We're going to click negate, which then changes this to a negative part. And we're going to select our sphere and union. We've cut our sphere in half. Now you want to scale your sphere down little bigger than that. That's good. Now, you can. This is the same exact size as the torso, by the way. So if you wanted, you could just make a giant crater in the torso, all through the torso. Now, here's where you might need to plug in. You don't have to use this, but I would. This is called CMD-UTL. It is by I don't know how to say his name. It's like Animus, I don't know. But you would move this in. I would use up here to rotate and change it to 1/5. Rotate this, now select again, and move. So, negative part. Oh wait, that was separate. You don't want to separate. That can be really a pain in the butt. So now we want to change this to a negative part now that we've gotten it in the perfect position. And we will union it with the torso to create the hole in the zombie. Now, as you can see, there's now a gray hole in the zombie. We want this to be light reddish violet, so we click use part color. It's a property in the torso. Now, we are going to create a duplicate of this and rotate it a little bit. Make sure you get rid of the move axis. Remember, if you don't have CMD-UTL, that is fine. You can always use the regular thing, but it can help to have CMD-UTL. There are many tutorials on how to install plugins. You should look one up. They are very helpful things. So now we have one in, and we have another. Now we can shrink size one of them by going to this and going 0.1, 0.4, 0.9. And now, now we have a smaller bone, and we can drag that in here. Now we select all of them, the small, the little, and the torso, and union. You've just created your zombie legs and torso. Good job. Now you only want him to have one arm because it'd be kind of hard for him to have an arm right here. So we want to duplicate his leg and just bring it right here. Now we're going to duplicate it again, and we're going to scale it and make it a negative part, and then union it. So now he only has half an arm. And then you can simply insert a new part, make it a custom, and if it would let me drag it, there. If it would, it didn't let me drag it, and then you could do that. And here's where you insert a wedge part. You go to insert object and wedge part. Now you would make this custom too. Oh, and to select more than one part, hold shift on it. Remember, on this, you don't want to use part color because the blade needs to be a different color than the skin. So now we want to make it smooth, and we will union it with the arm to make the blade arm. And the head is really simple. You would just copy this. I would turn it once to be safe, and then one and one. So turn it 3 times. This actually helps because it will make the decal that you're going to put on it for the eyes work better. Now here we have a problem. You see, this is not lined up perfectly. Now, chances are you're never going to get something lined up perfectly, but in this, it is very crucial to have it lined up perfectly. So, to do this, we want to move it right here, Like I was saying, we want to line it up right here, and we will move it on over right here so it's lined up with the torso, and then we will move it up a bit. And now we're going to insert a special mesh. Now we're going to edit the mesh's property, which is the scale. This can make it larger or smaller. We're going to make it larger by changing all of them to 1.25. Here's the last little step. You need to create a decal inside of the head. Now to do this, there are many ways to do a decal. You could get it from the toolbox right here, or you could get it from right here. I'm going to get it from right here. So now we have a little tiny face. It's not there yet, is it? So we're going to move it to the front where we want it. And then we're going to go to the toolbox and go to decals and search eyes. Now you have so many eyes to choose from, but I have these. So what I like to do is put my decal on the base plate, and I would copy its property, which is the texture, and then you can click on class name and then delete the decal by clicking the delete button. Now you go back to the head, its decal, and change its texture to that texture. But wait, then you find, oh no, it's on this side. So you need to resize it, move it, and rescale it. But wait, no, now it's not even. So now you have to do it again. So now we're going to move it. Remember, you don't have to have CMD UTL, but it helps. If I were you, I would set it to the 0.1 move increment. And this is your zombie. Now, you can apply blood to it. I don't care what you do with it now. And you can change the color of all of it, like so. And all of it's like this now, but that looks pretty ugly. So, yep, you can do whatever you want with it. This is Blade XE, and I am signing off. Thank you.